Welcome to another edition of the Gridiron Report. I'm Jarret Johnson. I'm joined by the mighty Joe Yeager. Mighty Joe, I know this is a Gridiron Report, but we're here outside the USA. Got the Womble construction going on. We've been doing this for a couple weeks. It'd be cool kind of maybe put some of these videos together and see the progression of the construction of the Womble, the beautiful basketball practice facility, which is due to be done, I believe, in the summer of 2020, if I'm correct. Yes. Oh, yeah, math's always difficult for us. So
you had me going. I was buying it.
Let's go with something that I know a little bit easier for me to talk about anyways, is Tech football. Yeah. Coming off a tough loss, 33-31 to TCU. Yet another close game that was just right there that Tech couldn't get over the top on. Just your overall takeaway from the Red Raiders' difficult loss there to TCU.
Yeah, it was a real gut buster supreme, that's for sure. It's kind of cliched, but Tech just is making mistakes down the stretch that you can't make to win games. And you had the missed extra point, which had, I don't know how to explain what the word is, but it just it reverberated throughout.
It kept compounding.
It did. It just snowballed, and something that looks like maybe a minor thing turns out to possibly cost you the game. When you look at chasing those points and not converting the extra point conversion, the double 2-point conversions. And then, of course, the fumble on Tech's last drive. If that hadn't happened, who knows what might have happened. All you need is a field goal to win that thing. So, I mean, just not getting stuff done. And, I mean, you had situations like this against Baylor, accepting the referee's robbery job on Tech. You had the fumbled Bowman kick return or kickoff block, field goal block. So, I mean, those are just the sort of things, and it's Tech's going to be probably, I think, another close game here against Kansas State. So we'll see which team keeps his head and doesn't screw up in the final minutes of the game, and that team will probably win, I guess.
Speaking of Kansas State and possibly a close game and which team will keep its head, I mean, it's hard to figure this Kansas State team as well. I mean, they obviously pull off the upset of the year in the Big 12 by beating Oklahoma at home. And I watched that game. It was a great game. It was a well-played game by the Wildcats, and Oklahoma came roaring back, and Wildcats were able to hold them off. And I really like what Chris Kleinman's been doing there so far in his first year at Kansas State. But then they come back and they lose to West Virginia, who, by my account, really was probably the worst team in the Big 12, maybe even worse than Kansas, even though West Virginia beat them. They're among the worst in the Big 12. And Kansas State loses at home to them. Now, there was Jarret Doege took over at quarterback for West Virginia, and after speaking with Go Powercat, our sister site on 24/7 Sports, Doege looked really good. He made a difference for the Mountaineers, which we've seen what a Doege can do. So, there's something to be said for that. But I'm wondering which Kansas State team's going to show up too.
Yeah, I'm sure they are too.
Yeah.
You wonder. Inconsistency is kind of the norm, you see it with Texas Tech, you see it with West Virginia, you see it with TCU, there's a lot of teams that are very inconsistent. That's just something that Chris Beard brings up all the time, is consistency. That's what everybody's shooting for, and that's what he's working for, burning up the midnight oil, trying to figure out how to be consistent. Well, that's what's going on here with Kansas State, what's going on with Texas Tech, and so it's kind of I guess ultimately what it comes down to is if you're inconsistent, you're really not very good.
That's it.
And both of these teams have been inconsistent. And right now there's like sub 500. So it's we'll see which team rises up and actually plays and which one does not have that inconsistency. And I tell you, Doege certainly did help West Virginia. He helped them against Texas Tech.
Yeah, he did.
So he really did. I think he's probably going to be pretty good for the rest of the year for them, but still losing to West Virginia at home, nonetheless, is just really pretty inexcusable.
And then I think injuries are going to play a big part in this game. Now, if I told you the Red Raiders would be without Bowman, Shine, possibly Vasher, we'll see. He might be available. Go down the list. Maybe Jordan Brooks. Just keep going down the list. You'd be like, there's no way Tech has a chance of beating anybody in the Big 12. And then Kansas State, actually, both their big-time scholarship running backs both have flat tires as well, just like Tech's running backs are banged up. So it's really a battle of attrition at this point. And look, Kansas State, they already have 6 wins, so they're bowl eligible, but they're fighting for their place amongst, bowl season. Red Raiders are fighting for their bowl eligibility lives. They got to win this game, and then they got to win against Texas and Austin. So you got some other things going on for Texas Tech. Senior night, it's a senior day. It's a night game too, the first night game in the Big 12. How big of a role do you think this will play, having all those X factors or intangibles in Tech's favor, or not?
Yeah, I imagine the injuries probably going to be kind of a push for the most part. Both teams pretty banged up. I'm not expecting a massive home field crowd. I mean, based upon what we've seen this year for the most part, and certainly last week.
Right.
Now, maybe being a night game and senior day, that helps a little bit. But I'm still not expecting a huge crowd. It'll be interesting to see what the weather's going to be like, because right now it's changing pretty dramatically.
Big time.
Colder and rain's coming in. So we'll have to see what happens there. Now, I think the one thing that certainly could work in Tech's advantage is it being senior day and just an internal motivation sort of thing. Teams always want to do good for their seniors, so Tech will have that edge, and maybe that'll be enough to get them over the hump.
All right, well, Texas Tech and Kansas State kick off 6 p.m. Saturday here in Lubbock at the Jones. Mighty Joe, great stuff from you as always. Thank you all for watching, and until next time.